Hello viewers, this is attorney Naresh Gehi, and very often I see a lot of parents in India, especially in Mumbai and in New Delhi, and they want their children to come to America and study. This is because America has some of the finest institutions in the world when it comes to education. And what is important for students to know when they apply, for their visas before the consulate. Critically important is that what I tell students is that, listen, when you're living in India, everything seems very rosy, and the most common pitfalls, the biggest mistakes I've seen, is that students do not pick the right universities. And they just pick a university, they say, well, I'm going to go to America and I'm going to join this program. What happens later? They come to America, and then they realize that it'll be difficult for them to kind of, finish up the course, or they're not very happy with the course. And later on, they go on the OPT and they want to get an H-1B sponsor later. And the problem is that sometimes they feel that wish they had better guidance. So the first thing you have to do is to make sure that before you apply for a student visa, you need to make sure that you know which program you want to get into. Especially if you're in the sciences, you need to look at all the STEM occupations in the United States: science, technology, math, and engineering. You need to look at those programs under a microscope, whether if you get that OPT for those 29-month period out here. But if you're going for something else, like if you want to come in to study journalism, or if you want to study, you want to be an art major, or if you want to come in for architecture, bottom line is look at the university you want to select. Because choosing a university, it's a job by itself. Because every university in the US says that to market, they'll tell you, oh, we are here and we have this fantastic program. But does this program really meet your needs? That's point number one. Then after that, you get ready, you send your application. You need to make sure that you get your I-20 from an accredited university. Because there are so many universities in America, but sometimes you see that these universities are getting into trouble. So make sure that you go with a good university. And after you go for a good university, there are some universities that provide you scholarships. Some of them provide you with research assistantships. So you need to basically deep dive. If you're a scholar, you need to deep dive to see what you're doing. Don't just spend your precious money just for the heck of it because you want to come to America. Choose a program that's going to benefit you somehow or the other. That's step number one. Second step, now you got your I-20 with you. You're very excited about it, that you have this I-20. And now, when you're going to go to the US consulate in India, you can be asked a lot of questions. Why? Because they want to see your finances. They want to make sure that you demonstrate a non-immigrant intent under Section 214 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. And people think that, hey, I went to this interview, and the sad thing is that I spoke everything I had, but the immigration officer did not believe me that I was going to come back to India. The law on the point is very clear that under Section 214, the burden of proof is entirely upon you to show that you'll return back to the country. And if you did not do well at the interview, because either you're overconfident, you're not prepared properly, and you did not prepare yourself so well that you were able to crack the interview. Cracking the interview by itself is an art. Is there a guarantee? It's not a guarantee. But take some expert preps of how to prepare for the interview, how to be confident, how to talk before a consulate, how to talk in style, how to walk in style, how to convince yourself. I've seen brilliant people getting knocked down at an interview, not only for student visas, for visitors visas, for student visas, for immigrant visas, for non-immigrant visas, for K-1 visas. But at the end of the day, you are being interviewed by a very seasoned immigration officer, and most of them are wonderful. But if you're not good at the interview, unfortunately, your student visa will be denied.